If you like numbers and you like money, then this video might be right up your alley because today we are going to be discussing numbers and money for most of Com2uS games, in addition to comparing that to other major mobile releases, like, for example, Raid Shadow Legends, Epic 7, Raid Shadow Legends, Epic 7, Genshin Impact, League of Legends, Wild Rift, and some other ones, just to have something to compare it to. So let's get it started. Right here, we are on Sensor Tower, which is a website that you can see. This is a little snapshot that we get from some different games. You don't get full access to all of the analytics. That is a very expensive. This is a very expensive website to have a membership to. It is really only for companies that are making millions and millions of dollars. So it's not something that like normal human beings have access to all the information, but we still do get to see a snapshot from each game. This is actually one of two snapshots. We get to see two different snapshots from each game. This is the iTunes. I'll give you guys a little recap of all the things that we're seeing. This is the iTunes. This is the Android over here for Google Play. And then I have some more info on that. We can see the downloads for December 2021, 700,000 downloads. Revenue, $3 million for December 2021. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's some of these that blow this out of the water, right? So $3 million in 1 month seems like a lot, but there's a lot that make a lot more than this. So, and then we have some keywords for that. I love that this broccoli is a keyword here. I'm not entirely sure why broccoli is a keyword. And then we have some review breakdowns, which we're not really going to be discussing. We're mostly concerned about the downloads and the revenue. So let's get it started. League of Legends, we can see 700,000 between the iTunes and Google Play. We can see 1.7 million downloads in December 2021. We can see the revenue was around $6 million. I mean, give or take, in December 2021. That seems very impressive. They got an A for iTunes. They got an A+ for here. I do want to also give you guys some more information before we get started on the rest of the stuff, the Summoners War stuff. Google's Android and Apple iOS combined represent 99% of the global mobile OS market. Because I mean, there are other things like Amazon, which there's other app stores, but really they're not widely used, right? So they're still trying to get market share. And then we have, but this is actually not current to this year. I'm just trying to show a little bit of data behind that. Also, this is something that I wanted to mention. In the first quarter of 2020, Apple shipped out 36.7 million smartphones worldwide. I know you're like, why are you telling us that? I just want to let you guys know. I mean, it should be very obvious, but I want to let you guys know that some of these, like, if there's a lot of installs for older games, it could just mean that people are getting new phones and they are installing these things again on their new phones. They're not necessarily new players. If there are like very old games, like, well, they're still getting a lot of installs, still a lot of new players. It's like that could just mean that there is a new phone, right? So I just want to let you guys know that this is lots of people. It should be obvious. I think you guys already know that, but a lot of people get new phones all the time. You're kind of like, yeah, I get a new phone every year. Maybe don't do that. That's very expensive. But, you know, it's your money, whatever. So, Summoners War. I know everyone cares about Summoners War. That's what we're here for, right? Well, some people just want to see all of it. Some people are like, yeah, I want to see which Com2uS games are dying. We'll get to that. I'm sorry, Com2uS. I know I'm going to get in trouble for this video anyway. Okay, so we have iTunes, 40,000 downloads. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean 40,000 new players. That just means they have 40,000 downloads on iOS, right? So 40,000 downloads, $9 million in revenue, which is, to be honest, and this is just a month, right? To be honest, this is impressive for a game that's been out for almost 8 years at this point. I got to give Com2uS credit. Like, they are continuing to make money on Summoners War. Their other games do not even come close to making as much. And this is just on iTunes, right? So their other games don't even come close to making this much money. So I still also think that they need to kind of focus a majority of their effort on continuing Summoners War and making it more accessible to more players and keeping people excited about it, right? So that's just my personal opinion. I feel if it's this big of a chunk of their revenue, I would say focus, really don't split everything, equal attention to every game. You're like, no. You could even like just delete games. Well, they did with Skylanders, but you could they could just stop supporting games and focus that effort and that energy on Summoners War and actually increase their revenue. That's just my opinions from a business perspective. So we see 40,000 downloads. We see 9 million. This is just for December. We have 50,000 downloads on Google Play. Another 9 million here. So 18 million for December 2021. Crazy. Crazy. I mean, A+, I can't poo-poo on this. This is really great numbers. This is really great numbers for revenue. I mean, downloads, if we compare it to the 1.7 million that League of Legends Wild Rift, 90,000 for Summoner's War is nowhere near that, but they're making more per player. Well, again, these are just new downloads. This does not necessarily mean that this is this many players playing the game. These are just new downloads. But it's definitely making more per player than League of Legends is, and many other games. So they're definitely monetizing their players much better than other games. So let's take a look at Genshin Impact from MiHoYo. So I like all the keywords sometimes make me smile. Okay, so we have 1 million downloads in December alone. Revenue 38 million, absolutely stomping like every other game currently. For the most part. Then we have on Google Play, this was less revenue, but 2 million. I don't know, like this is, they're not really giving too much info on like, is it 1 million? Is it 1.3 million? Is it 1.7 million? They're kind of like rounding, right? So rounding these download numbers. So if we see, I actually wrote a little thing up that I want to kind of mention, but it really doesn't indicate too much because, okay. Take into consideration this. We have 30 million here. We have 38 million here. Over 3 million downloads. So that would be equal to around $23 per player if each download was a player. But we have people that were like downloaded the game in November, downloaded the game in October, downloaded the game last year, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that these downloads are every player. It doesn't show a number of active players here, which I believe shows if you actually have the paid version, which is extremely expensive. But regardless, they still made $68 million, which is extremely impressive. Comptos, I gotta say, for the amount of difference in downloads, this is okay. So this is iTunes, and this is iTunes as well. So this is at the very least 25 times the amount of downloads on Genshin Impact is at least 25 times what it was for Summoner's War as far as new players. But the revenue was only, I mean, roughly, not exactly, but roughly 4 times as much. So definitely seems like Summoner's War is monetizing their players better. So then we have, but yeah, still, I mean, all of this is extremely impressive. Then we have Raid Shadow Legends. Downloads 800,000 for Google Play. Revenue 16 million. Is there any funny things I could find on here? No, there isn't. There's a lot of vainglory keywords on these other things. But anyway, that's just for comparison purposes. Anyway, 800,000 downloads, $16 million for December. And then we have 200,000 downloads. I don't know why there's so many more on Google Play than iTunes. Curious, though. Curious. And then we have 16 million here, 8 million there. So 24 million in total. Raid Shadow Legends doing perfectly fine. 24 million total. They can afford all of the advertisements that they put everywhere. So, and then I have a million new downloads. So, Epic 7 Smilegate downloads 100,000 on Google Play. And then they have 20,000. I believe that they also are running some kind of promotions for getting more downloads on Google Play as well. So they could be doing more of that. We have an A- here. We have an A+ on here. 120,000 altogether, but they're not monetizing as well as Summoner's War. They are basically making half the amount. So they're making about $9 million in December 2021, but they do have more downloads. So then we have Garena Free Fire, a game that a lot of people in the United States don't know what it is, because it's so significantly more popular in like Southeast Asia and places like that. So 14 million downloads on Google Play. It's massive. It's massive, 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 massive. Some of you guys in Southeast Asia that are watching are like, yeah, Garena Free Fire. How do people not know what that is? That's huge. But it's just like not a big thing in America. So we have 14 million downloads. We have $41 million in revenue. And everyone in America is like, I thought Genshin was like the GOAT. And they have actually another game on the App Store too, not just this one. Then we have 2 million downloads for iTunes. This is a pretty significant difference, 14 million, 41 million. But again, it could be just a regional thing. 14 million, so 16 million total, and then $60 million in December. In December alone for just this one Garena Free Fire. And then we have another Garena Free Fire. 8 million downloads here for December. This is Garena Free Fire Max. I'm not sure the difference. I don't play Garena Free Fire So, but they are two different games. 8 million downloads, $7 million in December. 700K downloads, $5 million. I've seen some of these channels. They get just millions of views for Garena Free Fire content. I'm like, I'm in the wrong game. I'm in the wrong game. Okay, then we have Teamfight Tactics. We'll get to the other ComToUs games. I know people are like, I thought you said we were going to do ComToUs games. I just want to show you guys things for comparison purposes here first, and then we'll see the other ComToUs games. So 300,000 downloads, $900,000 in December for Teamfight Tactics. Not really as, I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit higher, to be honest. Also, I was expecting League of Legends to be a little bit higher as well. And then 400,000 for Google Play, revenue 700,000 for that. And then we have Summoner's War, Lost Centuria. Big money. Okay, so, right, it's not going to be as big as like some of the the blockbuster games. Like, obviously, if you're doing as much advertising as Raid Shadow Legends, your downloads are going to be higher. Especially if you click the link in the description. Of course, your downloads are going to be higher, right? And then your revenue is just going to be higher because you're doing much more promotions. Summoner's War, Lost Centuria are not really doing that much promotions. Downloads 7,000. Revenue 200,000. So it's a big difference from this one to where was Worry. This is Google Play, so 7,000, 200,000, and then this is 50,000. Still for a 7-year, almost 8-year game, and then 9 million. So it's a massive difference in numbers of how much revenue these things are actually making. Summoner's War, Lost Centuria, and a new game too. You would think that a new game would make more revenue than an old game. Usually that's how that works. But $7,000 and $200,000, and then we have 9,000 and then $200,000 in revenue for this. So not really coming close to Summoner's War, Sky Arena in any way, shape, or form. As far as like revenue, as far as downloads, etc., etc. And then we have Skylanders Ring of Heroes. So this is, and they just did an announcement that this was getting the server shut down. So 8,000 downloads, $50,000 in December 2021. Really, that's not, for having a team of people working on a game, $50,000 a month is not as much as you really think it is. I mean, if this was like a dev team of like 2 people and they were making $50,000 a month, that'd be fine. But this is a multi-billion-dollar company, right? ComToUs is a multi-billion-dollar company. So 8,000 downloads, 50,000 revenue. This is 9,000 downloads, 10,000 revenue on Google Play. Really not doing that great, but that's why they shut it down, right? So we got to kind of think about, like, this is 60,000 here and 17,000 downloads. I'm kind of concerned about the 16,000. So this is actually a little bit less downloads, more money, right? 400,000. So it's not going to get shut down anytime soon. But I'm kind of concerned about the future of Summoner's War, Lost Centuria. I'm going to get attacked for this. ComToUs is going to... They're going to bring out the big guns. Like, stop, Bago. Bago must be stopped. He's telling people the things we don't want them to know. So yeah, we're just looking at numbers. These numbers are available to everyone, right? So then we have Arcana Tactics, which is another ComToUs. I was going to say another Summoner's War game, another ComToUs game. We got 20,000 downloads. We got $60,000 in December 2021 revenue from Google Play, and then we have 30,000 in revenue and less than 5,000 downloads from iTunes. So that's another ComToUs game. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the other ComToUs games. Baseball Superstars. 7,000 downloads, $100,000 in revenue. I don't know what the break even, like what revenue numbers they need to hit, ComToUs needs to hit for actually being profitable and being like, okay, we're happy continuing this game and the life cycle. This Google Play, 20,000 downloads, $300,000 in revenue. We have Heir of Light, which I'm actually surprised that Heir of Light is still going on. I haven't been paying attention to anything in the game for quite a while. Was I ever really, though? 6,000 downloads, $70,000 in revenue. We have less than 5,000 downloads on here on iTunes in December, $100,000 in revenue. So it looks like it's not very popular, but the people that are playing are spending on it. We have a Loon, which is a Loon even? I didn't even know, like, some of these things are still, like, around. But I don't think with this revenue it's going to be around for much longer. I mean, guys, look at this. This is getting a C score. It is less than 5,000 downloads, less than $5,000 in revenue. It was a good run, Alun. That's going to be the next one. Chromatic Souls. This is another one less than 5,000 downloads. This is in $5,000 in revenue. On Google Play, it's got an F score, less than 5,000 downloads total. Hasn't, not going well. Not going well. We have Critica, which is actually 10,000. It's significantly better than the other ones. Significantly better than Chromatic Souls. Critica is 10,000 downloads, $60,000 in revenue. Less than 5,000 downloads, $70,000 in revenue on iTunes. We have Monster Warlord, less than 5,000 less than 5,000 downloads, $50,000 in revenue. $80,000 in revenue, less than 5,000 downloads. Dragon Blaze, less than 5,000 downloads, $60,000 in revenue. So it's really not getting people actively like coming in to play it and see if like, oh, maybe I like it, maybe I don't like it. But they are still monetizing the players that they do have. Dragon Blaze here, $100,000. So I mean, as long as here's the thing though, this doesn't really matter as much. This doesn't make the company money. This is not going to make Comtois money. This is what matters, is the revenue. So if they have like no new players, but they increase their revenue, that's what they want. It's not necessarily that they want to like overload their servers or anything. They mostly just care about this number right here. So. Now we have NBA Now, 100,000 downloads, $70,000 in revenue, 40,000 downloads. So the free-to-play friendly ones, you're going to see a lot more down. Just in general, I'm not saying NBA Now 22 is free-to-play. I have no idea the monetization on it, like how much it costs to play, how much it costs, et cetera, et cetera. I just know that for more free-to-play friendly games, you're generally going to see more downloads. And then revenue is really just based on revenue. So if there's more downloads total, then of course you're going to see more revenue, even if it's monetizing each player less. So, but really this is all just business. It's really all about the bottom line in every single one of these. So ace fishing. So we joke about like things like ace fishing and baseball superstars, but if it's making money, if people are playing it, then there you go. How many companies are making fishing games? How many companies are making RPGs? Like many more companies making RPGs or shooters versus a company that's willing to make fishing games and try to make fishing games fun and try to monetize fishing games. So clearly they're making $500,000 in December alone, getting 40,000 downloads on Ace Fishing. $500,000. Can't say anything bad about that. I mean, am I making $500,000 in December? Not even close. Not even remotely close. So I can't really complain about it. But also, I'm not a multi-billion-dollar company, so that also explains that. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys these numbers. We'll go back to Summoner's War now. In comparison, the numbers on Summoner's War are phenomenal. There's a lot of players that are just... I mean, they're really monetizing players more than ever before. Like the player base may be shrinking, but they are still continuing to monetize the players well. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know, but it doesn't look so bright for some of these other not this one necessarily, but like Chromatic Souls and some of these other Comtois games, Alun and things like that. It's not looking good. But anyway, that's it for this one. Maybe you guys got some value out of it. Maybe you guys like, oh, I was interested in this. I like looking at numbers and things like that. But anyway, that's it for this one. My channel's going to be shut down in the next week for showing you guys these numbers. So I'll see you when I see you.